takes place right here in the United States. Actually, the state I live in Los Angeles. The year is about 1980. Now, 1980, there was a lot of things going on in this country and all over the world. The one thing that was going on in this country is we had a big influx of people fleeing to the United States from Laos, Vietnam, and Cambodia. Cambodia especially because of the killing fields, unfortunately. So let's fast forward to 1981. Now, the news articles really didn't give family name, so I'm going to call it Family A, okay? Just for clarity. So, Family A comes from Cambodia to flee what's going on there, to make a new life here. And when they get here, everything is great, you know. Now, granted, they didn't have a lot of money. You know, most people who come here don't. So they get jobs and they're working, you know, just trying to make a living just like all of us. Now, they had children in the family. One in particular. He was about 20 years old, early 20s. And they noticed one day that their son looks a little tired. And they're like, "Are you okay? You feeling ill?" And he goes, I just can't sleep very much lately. And they're like, "Oh, okay. Probably you having restless nights, new country, you know, new people, and things like that." That's kind of understandable. I mean, if you ever went anywhere different, like a hotel or something, sometimes you have a hard time sleeping. So they shrugged off, you know, as just, you know, being in a new country, making new friends, new work, all that. Well, as the days progressed, they noticed their son is tired more and more and more. Now the parents are getting concerned. And they ask him, "Are you getting enough sleep? You know, is there anything we can do for you?" And the son said, "I can't go to sleep. If I go to sleep, they'll get me." So the parents kind of find this kind of strange and odd. What's going on with their son? Now, all of us, when we were kids, were afraid of something. Monster under the bed, possibly our closet. A lot of times it was the dark, because the dark we feel hold, you know, things are going to get us in the dark. And because as children we have very vivid imaginations as we're growing up. So the parents are kind of concerned, which they had every right to be. Turns out every night their son would never sleep. So they take him to a doctor. Doctor diagnosed him with insomnia, which some people can get. He's figuring it's just stress is why. Being in a new country, you know, totally different culture. So he prescribes sleeping pills for their son. They go home. A couple days later, their son is still tired. And they're like, "Did you take the sleeping pills the doctor prescribed for you?" And he says, "No, because if I go to sleep, they're going to get me." And they're like, "Who's going to get you? We're safe. You don't have to worry about anything anymore." He would never say who it was. So one night, the parents decide, well, we're going to slip him one of his sleeping pills. He needs to get sleep. He's getting to the state. Have you ever seen people who haven't slept in a while where their eyes get kind of dark underneath the skin and their eyes are really saggy? So he's getting to this stage. That's getting very concerning because the lack of sleep you get very delusional because your brain is starving. It needs rest every night. So you can get very delusional. You can actually pass out from lack of sleep because your body's just drained. So they slip him one of his sleeping pills without him knowing at dinner time. So everyone goes to bed. Their other children go to bed. He goes to bed, as always. During the night, they hear a scream come from their oldest son's room. Both parents run into the room, and they find their son, unfortunately, had passed away. Now the parents are frantic. They call paramedics. They call fire. Police come out. The parents, like I said, they're hysterical. They're thinking by giving him the sleeping pill, they accidentally killed their son unintentionally. So they're worried. They have every right to be. They're just trying to help their poor son because the kid don't understand why he can't sleep. So police and ambulance, he's presumed dead on the spot. And they tell him, don't worry, we're going to take him down. We'll have an autopsy done on him. Well, of course, the parents didn't kill him. The sleeping pill did not kill him. He had no allergic reaction to it. No, nothing. So the parents were kind of relieved at that. I mean, that'd be a heavy burden to have on them for that. But now here comes the strange thing. The son was perfectly healthy. No narcotics in his system. No alcohol in his system. Heart wasn't under distress, so it wasn't a heart attack. And we'll get back to that as we go on. So just remember that. So the coroner is baffled. He tells the parents, in no shape or form should he have died. They did state they heard a scream come from his room. So, of course, police are trying to figure this out too. And they asked them, are you sure it was him? And they said yes, because he woke everybody else up in the house. It wasn't a very big place. Because they couldn't afford a lot. And this is Southern California, LA. And even in 81, it was expensive to live there. So there was no forced entry. So it wasn't an intruder who killed him. None of the family members did. So what killed this young Cambodian man? Well, now it's raised an alert. So the CDC decides to step in to figure out what's going on, Is it possibly a disease that no one's ever heard of or whatnot? No, because there was no traces of that in the autopsy. They did another autopsy on him, toxicology on him, nothing. He was 100% healthy. So now they're even stumped. They've never seen anything like this. Until a family B, they get a call. Ambulance rush to the house. Another young Cambodian boy between the age of 20 and 33 is presumed dead. Now his heart was a little different. Even after death, his heart was still fluttering, like defibrillating, to say. But, so at first they're thinking heart attack, right? The autopsy. Now the toxicology. Perfectly clean toxicology. No stress on the heart. So it wasn't a heart attack. Now other symptoms can cause this type of thing. So obviously they test for it. Nothing. Now the CDC is concerned. Now they have a second death that they can't explain. And then family C calls. Another young, except I believe, if I remember correctly, it was a Vietnamese person. Same age range, between 20 and 33. Now they're thinking they might have a pandemic. 1982 hits, and it subsides. Between 1981 and 1982, over 26 deaths occurred. Science has given it a name. SUNDS. SUNDS, which stands for Sudden Unexplained Nocturnal Deaths, because they can't explain it. Why these young men in between 20 and 33 will die in their sleep. Now, a lot of things can occur, and they've noticed a lot of these people came from countries of where there was a lot of stressful situations, let's put it that way, going on. But also when your body's under a lot of stress, it shows even in your autopsy. So when it doesn't show up in your autopsy that your body is under distress, what explanation do you have? You really don't, you know. There are some ailments that can cause you to die in your sleep. But the problem is, and some doctors have theorized that's what they have, but when they do the autopsy, because you can test for these ailments, a lot of these young adults, Asian adults, do not have these ailments, these conditions. So you can't say that they have these altogether. So still to this day, it is 100% unexplained. And it happens a lot in the Asian community. And scientists and doctors have been trying to figure out why these occurrences happen. Now, the uptick has dropped, but they still occur even to this day. And they really don't know. A lot of cultures have, even in the Asian culture, they have spirits or ghosts that will come into your home and they will put pressure on your chest to suffocate you. In Europe, they have one. It's called the hag. Don't let the hag, that's where you hear the term, don't let the hag in your home. Because if she does, she comes in and she puts pressure on your chest to suffocate you. So it was a very intriguing story, and I thought I would share it with everybody and see what you guys think. But there's a bigger point to this story. Remember family A, what their son said. If he went to sleep, they would get me. Does that sound familiar to you? Because this story also had an impact on a certain individual whose name was Wes Craven. And this is how the story of Nightmare on Elm Street was created. Funny how certain iconic horror figures get created in our society, all from one unexplained event. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, And we will see you all in the next one.